Well, good morning, good morning, good morning. How's everybody doing? We are having technical difficulties. I promise you. I promise you. Uh, but we want to say good morning. We're glad that you're here. Thank you so much for being here. You know, my name is Leslie Montgomery. Now I got to think about what I'm supposed to say. My name is Leslie Montgomery. This is LKM Kingdom Living, Leslie's Lessons Learned. And I'm so happy that you're here today to be with us as we go over the topic. And really, the part that we're going to talk about is that moment in our lives that made us change what we did or the way we thought in situations and things like that. So we're happy you're here. Sorry we're late. Like I said, we've had technical difficulties this morning, but we're here. Um, and we are so happy to be here. Let me get my mirror. Let me tell you, I did a whole spew and you wasn't here. So I want to say thank you to everyone that's joining, everyone that's here. Uh, just take a moment and let me get myself together. You know, when I look in the mirror, and this is what I want you to say today: a life without me is like a world without colors. When you look in the mirror, I want you to see the beauty in who you were created to be. I want you to understand that the mirror wasn't just made for us to see all our crevices and our wrinkles, but it was made for us to see who we were created to be, the beauty that's in us, and who Yahweh created us to be. So as you look in your mirror, whether you're laying on the side of your bed, in your bed, I want to tell you to get up. I want you to get up and I want you to understand that life is worth living. I do have a video I want to share. I would have forgot that before. So let me share this. It's a quick video, but I like what it says.
People that could exist mathematically
will never exist.
Wow.
You are as special a living entity as there ever was.
Amen.
Do you know how precious life is? There's been about 100 billion people who have ever lived.
Wow, really?
Yes. Do you know how many people can exist? You take a look at the genes, find out how many combinations of genes can make an authentic human being. And it is stupendously larger number than the 100 billion. What it means is you are alive against stupendous odds. You are breathing air, observing sunsets, gazing into the night sky. Most people who could exist will never experience that.
Wow.
Most people who could exist will never even be born. And you're going to complain about the life you have?
It's the gift. Most people that could exist mathematically
will never exist.
Wow.
You are as special a living entity as there ever was.
Amen.
Do you know how?
So I thought that was powerful. And I might share that quite often because you have to understand, good morning, everyone, how special you are. And you have to understand that you're not like the other person and that what you have to offer is just as important as the other person. You know, I was listening, I was on Teresa Buxton page today, and she had a video on there of this woman that was training the people to work for corporations. And she was talking about identifying who you were and to work from that end. And one of the things she said is that when you come into a company, don't come into a company telling them what you can change. Come into the company, work in the company, and let them understand, first of all, who you are. Because the authentic you is what got you hired. They hired you before they even gave you a paycheck. And the reason why they hired you was because you impressed them with your authentic self. So I want to encourage you today to be authentic. You know, be one person that um, be that person that you were created to be. And without a shadow of a doubt, what comes out of you is the authenticness is because you have the assurity that what you have to offer is just as good as what someone else has to offer. They don't want to hire everyone that's the same. They want for your uniqueness to be shown to help that company grow. But when she was speaking, it wasn't, she brought it down so close to home that whether you worked or not, you were able to get something from it. And it was called being your self, no negotiation. You
Mhm.
can't negotiate who you are. Only thing you could do is be the best of who you are. So I want to say before we get started, good good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're listening from. Thank you so much. Take a moment and hit that like sign and that subscribe button and share. It would do me so much. It would make my heart good, feel good if you did that. So, I was saying before about these authentic women right here and how they all are powerful. And for them to be here, I want you to know is very valuable to me that you took time out of your busy schedule to be here to share with someone else. So when I think about it, I think about Katrina, and I was saying how Katrina teaches you how to beautify, how your beauty begins on the inside. It's not your clothing, but it's what's on the inside of you. In her community, she's always helping someone to grow and understand. uh, I want to ask you this question, Katrina. You know my name.
Hey, beautiful.
Uh-huh. When you come into her community, that's your name. So I don't know. I said that's a good point because if she don't remember somebody's name, once she say beautiful, you are already in. So I just wanted to mess with you for a minute with that, Katrina. And Katrina's going to take a moment and tell us about herself. I want to introduce my co-host that is here every Sunday, which I appreciate so much, and I just love her. I love her spirit, her wisdom. She's such a wise young lady, and I appreciate her so much. But if you want to know what to do with your hair, she's your girl. She's been doing it. Look at it. Yes, she's your girl. She can tell you what you need to know about your hair. I have put each and every one of these women's link in there. So you can get them on Instagram, you can get them on Facebook, you can get some of them on YouTube. But I want you to know whatever information you need, I put it in there. And that took a moment. I was like, this is a whole lot of information I got to put in here this morning. So I want thank you so much for being here today, Wanda. And then Tiffany, that I have adopted her and her husband as my niece and nephew. And people are always saying, is that really your niece and nephew? And I'm like, no, but yes. And I appreciate her so much. They're always checking on me, looking out for me. But if you want to know about health, if you want to know how to balance and eat correctly, how to connect your blood type to the food you eat, wherever, they're the ones to get in contact with. So Katrina, and we also have Alicia. She's still having technical difficulties, and hopefully she'll be on. And when you think about her, you think about life and how she causes you to live a life because you understand who you are, and because you understand who you are, you're able to blossom a whole lot. It's like the things that you used to go to when she gets finished at 5 a.m. in the morning, you don't never have to go through those things again because you identify where you fit in that and who you are. So Katrina, thank you so much. We're gonna we don't have the time we have, but I want each and every one of you to be able to take a moment and say what you do and how you do it. You have a conference coming up, or I don't know if it's a conference, a seminar, what we calling it. But take a moment, tell us about you and what you do and your conference coming up.
Okay, thank you and good morning. Thank you for having me here today. So, I am Katrina Henderson, the Chief Beautiful Officer for Unbreakable Memories. And
Wait a
hello.
minute. The chief beautiful officer can
That was everything. Yeah,
I
I
know
know
that's
that's right.
right.
Again.
Yes. Because nothing else fits. I'm like, I'm
That
not
fits
like,
perfectly.
so that's what it's become.
I feel like I just went into the military.
So hello, my name is Beautiful, where we are redefining what the narrative of beautiful looks like and helping you create a beautiful life. So we have it's not a I mean, it's a conference per se, but it's called a Beautiful Encounter, and it's happening June 8th. And what we're doing is really just helping women, couple, men, whoever's coming, on how to embrace their beautiful, redefine their beautiful, define their beautiful, whatever they need to do that day to understand that they are beautiful from the inside and out. So we're just going to create a beautiful encounter.
Amen. Thank you. And I'm trying to see if Alicia's saying something. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Tiffany. Tell us about yourself.
Hello, everyone. I'm Tiffany Childs. I'm the better half of Team Childs. I have a spa suite. I am also a certified
Hold
holistic.
up. Wait a minute. Are we finally? Are we finally? That's the aha moment right there. I need you to repeat that.
I am Tiffany Childs, the better half of Team Childs. I am also a certified holistic practitioner. I also run an amazing company with my husband, Team Childs LLC, where we are health renewal coaches, where we inspire the power of choice. Everything is a choice towards whole body wellness from a spiritual, mental, and physical perspective through commitment, consistency, and community. That is what we do. We just had our first marriage retreat. It was very successful to the point where they wanted us to do another one this year. So we have another one coming slated for September. If you want to know more about it, you can visit our page, teamchilds.org, Team Childs with the S. Go to the contact page and leave your email information, and we can get that information out to you.
So the reason why I stopped her and made her repeat that is because for a whole year we have been talking about this, and she keeps saying, "I'm not ready. I'm not ready. Don't tell nobody. Don't tell nobody." But thank you so much for owning up to what you do, and it will be amazing. People are waiting on you, and girl, for coming out. Wanda. Come on, tell us about you and about what's about to start again. And
Good morning, everybody. Good afternoon. My name is Wanda Floyd. I am a licensed hair care professional. I am an author, a mother, do a little bit in ministry. I do host two shows. One is Have a Seat in My Chair, Beauty Industry Talks with Wanda. And the one that will be starting very soon is Let's Talk About It with Wanda, where we discuss a variety of subjects, not just hair this time, or how to do business if you're a hair care professional. We talk about a variety of topics that we deal with every day. And so you can look for that to start on uh, probably in 2 weeks. On Mondays, it's 6:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, which means it's 9:30 on the East Coast. But there's always a replay for you to join. And y'all be up anyway at night. Y'all don't be asleep. So you can come and be a part of the audience. It's been very successful so far. And I've had a lot of people asking me, when is it coming back? So I'm just happy to be here and love being a part of Leslie Lessons Learned. And I can't wait for this discussion today.
thank you, thank you, thank you. And I want to say good morning to all those that have joined us. Thank you so much for being here. You know, these women are so powerful. You hear what they're doing. Let me tell you a little bit about me, which I usually don't. But the only thing I want to say is that you can catch me here on Sunday mornings at 9 a.m. Eastern Time, and you can catch me during the week either on Tuesdays or Thursdays. And we talk about self-care in so many different ways on those days. So those days is usually around 3, but sometimes it's a little earlier or whatever. But that's a little bit about me. So thank you so much for sharing what you're doing, ladies. Now, the aha moment, what happened was Tiffany and I was speaking one day, And in the midst, and neither one of us can remember now what made us come up with this topic, but in the midst of it, she said, "Oh my God." She was like, that hit me right here. And I said, and you didn't even have a mirror, and that's how the topic became this way. She was like, I don't remember what we saw, but I was like, I don't remember either. But Alicia is back and she seems to be moving very well. Thank you so much, Alicia, for being here. Alicia is my mentor. I appreciate her so much. And the reason why I'm here with Leslie's Lessons Learned is because of her. There would not be a Leslie's Lessons Learned if it was not for her and her husband pushing me out here. So, Alicia, we're about to get started, but tell us a little bit about you and what you do.
Hey everybody, I am Alicia Johnson, the creator of the 1212, and I'm in trouble again this morning, but I'm okay. I'm good. I'm good. Although I think it's so with Leslie. Every
That's
time
what I said.
lessons learned, I'm getting in trouble. I don't the Wi-Fi, we have problems this morning, so we back in business, but the Wi-Fi, that was my fault. That was my fault. Because
Oh.
if we got on here 30, 40 minutes, 52 days earlier, this wouldn't have been a problem. So I'm Alicia Johnson, the creator of the 1212 community, and the 1212 community is dedicated to helping everyone who chooses to learn how to recalibrate their lives 12 hours for God and 12 hours for man. And we do that in a myriad of ways, through journaling, through workshops, through one-on-ones, through community support. And so it's actually morphing into a lot of different things, but that is my mission, my assignment, and my passion, helping everyone to bridge the gap between heaven and earth and learn how to live a balanced life, 12 hours for God and 12 hours for man. So that's me in a nutshell.
Yeah, and these three women, they're on separately today, but they are teams. They have their husbands. They have ministries with their husbands, which is so awesome, and their husbands so gracefully allowed them to come on by themselves today. To Katrina and her husband is on every Tuesday night at 8, talking about life and experiences. Tiff and her husband, they have the clubhouse, and they have different things that they're doing also. And Alicia, if you really want to get up with her 5 a.m. in the morning, she is on. But her and Mike also have their own ministry, the Messes, and something. I forgot.
Messes, Mrs. and Miracles.
Miracles.
MQ, just MQ.
MQ, yeah. So we was getting ready to talk about the aha moment. And I thought about it and I kept thinking about it. What was the aha moment for me? I could say, no, I ain't gonna say that. So let me go on with my aha moment. Since we only have about a half an hour left. My aha moment was, and I'm saying this because of what we do on here, was to understand when I understood who I was, and it didn't matter who anybody else was. What do I mean by that? All these beautiful women have something going on, and I could look at them and begin to reflect myself and say what I cannot be because of what they do. And in that's part of insecurity, and part of not knowing who you really are. But through this process this year, I have been really balancing myself. So what I understand is what I do and who I am is has nothing to do per se with anybody else. I am an individual that has been created to do what I do, that has been created to show up the way I show up. And so that's one of my aha moments. And I think that the reason why I wanted to talk about that is because a lot of women, and the reason why I'm saying women, because this is not just a women's show. And maybe I need to change that. Women and men will begin to identify themselves by what somebody else does or what they think that someone else is doing. So I wanted to really home in on that because that has been a big thing for me. Nobody wants to hear what I have to say. There's no reason for me to go on. And I look at them and they're doing this and they're doing that. They're more powerful, but they're in the authentic of who they're supposed to be. So I have to be authentic in who I am. So that was one of my aha moments. And I just wanted to kind of say that. I don't know if anybody else thought about their aha moment and what that looks like. Anybody?
I'll go. So I had one recently where it was for me, it was about maintaining the focus of completing the assignment. In terms of like for the conference, for example, I'm looking at the ticket sales, they're moving, but not as fast as I thought they would have been going. And so God had to hit me over the head through another sister that told me, um, that reminded me that God showed me that I'm focused on the ticket sales, which means if the ticket sales are moving slow, then that means I'm not doing, like I took it as a reflection of me, right? That they weren't accepting me because the ticket sales, but God had to show me it's not about the ticket sales. It's about the completion of the assignment. And that's where my
That's
focus
good.
needs to be instead of looking at the ticket sales. Okay, even if it's an audience of one, that's the focus, right? Of making sure that at the end of the day on June 8th, that is done in order and the way that he wants it to be done. So that was an aha moment for me.
That is a aha moment, and it's one that Alicia always talks to us about. Whether it's one person or 100, you still give them the best of what you have. So
Yeah.
that's good because we do look at those things and begin to wonder, well, should I do something different? What should I say? How should I do it? And the only thing we need to do is rest in the fact that you have done it, what you needed to do, and
Yeah.
allow Yahweh to do the rest. So it's going to be fabulous. I know it's going to be amazing. I already know that. So, yeah. So, okay. Anybody else?
I'll go.
Tiffany got scared.
Yeah,
Go
she
ahead.
got because I was getting ready to talk about Tiffany. I was getting ready to say, see, she knew that, then she jumped off. We're gonna wait till she comes back and then I'm hey girl, hey Tiff. Leslie was talking about you.
I was.
She was talking bad about you, Tiffany. I was holding it down for you. I was holding it down. Um, aha moments are, I think, in the beginning, like in the beginning of your walk, in the beginning of learning your God voice, aha moments like hit you. They like gut punch you, like
Gut.
boom, like it's exciting. Like, oh my goodness, I can't believe God said this to me. I can't believe this. And for me, it was so powerful because I was getting so many aha moments at one time that I just felt like a superhero. Like, oh my gosh, this happened and this happened and this happened. And then after a while, the aha moments seemed to slow down. And so the reason I'm telling this story is because I want people to make sure that they're not missing aha moments because they don't have all that fanfare. They don't have all the bells and the whistles.
That's right.
And so, because I was getting so many aha moments, and it was like the burning bush, the talking donkey, all of the things that were like supernatural. So you can get addicted to those things, and you can almost be on a high. And so one day I got had an aha moment, and it was subtle, and it was real smooth, and I was like, God, what is that about? And so heaven began to explain to me that it's about the distance. And so in the beginning of the walk, when you start to really connect with heaven, it's like God gave me the image of a huge football field. So I'm on one side, and heaven, my angels, everybody's on the other side. And so in order to get my attention, they have to do all of these theatrics, the fireworks, the this, the that. So it's huge.
And the day that I got that subtle aha moment, because I felt like I was losing connection with heaven. And God was like, your aha moments now are regular conversation because we're so close together.
Wow.
And so it was just like, oh my gosh. So when you talk about aha moments, honey, I have aha moments like every second, I'm like, I got it, I see it, I get it. So the aha moments now for me are just regular conversation. Everything is an aha moment. Like, oh, I see how that, okay, a cup of tea, driving to the gas station, everything
Finding, yeah.
is miraculous. Everything is a miracle. Everything is amazing. And so when you get to the place where you are in, I want to say maybe lockstep with heaven, it's now a conversation. And so for your audience who's looking for the aha moments, you've got to gauge, because some people be like, well, I don't get those aha moments. I don't get that. And I challenge it, because heaven talks to everybody. So now you have to reassess your position,
Mm.
if that makes sense. So I just wanted to kind of put that out there as far as the aha moment. So I have aha moments all the time. Like I have aha moments every second of the day, because I live in expectancy.
I like that. I like that. I like that. You live in expectancy, and that's how we're supposed to live. And every day is a new day. So we don't need to get up and live it like we lived yesterday, because it's a new, refreshed day. There's new things added, and we need to begin to seek the Father to see how to go about that day. So I really like that. I thought about Tiffany, if you remember a conversation we were having, and the conversation was about. Oh, I can't remember exactly what we were talking about, but I was talking about, never mind, because I can't remember now. It just slipped my mind. But Tiffany likes to challenge me if I say something. I disagree with that. And I'll tell you why. And we were having a moment, and what made me think of that moment was when you first get saved. And when the Father is wooing you in that moment, there are a whole lot of aha moments. There are a whole lot of moments where He's trying to make you understand and trust Him and know that in the midst of it, He is your Father. He's trying to build a relationship. So there's a lot of aha moments that come through that. And because of that, when you get along, and every as you go along, there are different aspects of your salvation that you go through, and things change and things happen differently. And yes, we always have an aha moment. And yes, in those aha moments, what I hear Alicia saying is, do we appreciate what the aha moment is? Do we understand what the aha moment? When we go to the gas stations, do we begin to pay attention to understand that there's an aha moment right there? Or are we too busy? And that's a lot of times we can't hear because we're too busy. We don't have time. We got to keep moving, and then we might have a quick oh yeah, that's good, and keep it moving instead of paying attention to it. So I think that's good. I'm going to say Wanda, because me and Tifton already have a conversation. She's gonna come along in a minute.
You know, I've had some pretty major aha moments. I gotta start listening for the soft, subtle ones, because mine seem like a boulder from heaven, the burning bush, the lightning setting me on fire, knocking a limb off the tree, and I get up smoking type of aha moments. For real, for real. I'm like, you ain't have to do all that. You really don't have to do all that. You could just tap me. But when you started talking about salvation, one of the first aha moments that I could remember was when I realized uh, through a conversation that I wasn't saved. I thought I was saved. And it was a conversation that he and I was having, and I'm just going on, tears, boo-hoo. Oh, I just love you, Lord. I just love you so much. You are my everything.
Everything.
Oh, I've been worshiping all that. And he was like, really?
Mhm.
You really? You love me? Well, if you love me, you would keep my command.
Mm.
If you love me, he said, do you hurt the ones you love? And I'm like, what? Wait, what? He was like, you don't hurt the ones you love. And so um, I had to sit back, like for real. Now imagine a boulder hitting you. If a pebble fell down on you from heaven by the time it got to the earth. So imagine a boulder hitting you. That just knocked me to the floor. It knocked the wind out of me. I was a mess. And I had to sit back and reevaluate my life with Yahweh. And you will hear me often say, if you talk to me enough, when I got saved for real, this was the time that I had to look at my life and look at the things that I was doing, because I was born and raised in the church. I took myself to the church. I sang in the choir. I was on the usher board. I was in Sunday school, Bible
Religious.
study, YWCC, everything. And he was like, you really love me? If you love me, you would keep my commandments. Just that simple. And I was like, oh my goodness. And so from that point, imagine finding out you're not saved and you think you are. But I know he did that because he loved me. He loved me enough to check me. And so that was one of the biggest aha moments. And I got myself together and I realized my salvation wasn't what I thought it was. Now, do we make mistakes? Yeah. But obviously, I was going somewhere that I didn't know I was going. And he needed to check me enough to say, no, baby, you're not saved. That's not what salvation looked like. And so that was my aha moment.
Yeah, you had that, but that's also impactful because we have quite a few of those moments. I talked about one last week, how he said, "Really, you gonna make me wait on you while you answer the phone?" Just that simple. There are so many ways that we have those aha moments. Is what we do with them when we get it. All right, Miss Tiff, come on through here.
Okay, so I love how Alicia put it as though it's like a punch in the gut type thing. And for
So
the
wait a
life of
minute. So we got the punch in the gut. We got the boulder.
so for the life of me, I do not remember what we were talking about, but what is ringing in my head is when I went through my self-love journey and what that looked like. And this particular semester in college, I was taking a psychology class, and it was during it was the 50th year for the Brown versus Board case. And we had to do a mock trial at the local courthouse. And I was the attorney over the Topeka, Kansas case. And that was the experiment with the black and white doll babies. And they put them before children, and it was like, which one is the pretty doll or whatever. And during that particular year, I had a major breakup with my ex-fiance. And after that, that's when I did a deep dive into therapy and counseling. 4 years actually of therapy, consistent therapy. And during that time, it was as if God was kind of illuminating things. Like I would just read something, I would see something that God would basically challenge me. Now, this is just for me. I'm not putting anything on anyone, but also I am a holistic practitioner, and I've always gravitated to herbs natural modalities. And also during that time, I was trying to maneuver a brain tumor, trying to, treat it with herbs and all of the things. So I have all these things going on, and everything that I was doing, I had to basically question the stuff I was putting in and on my body. I think I might be frozen. I don't know. Hopefully I'm not frozen. But so during that time of the Brown versus Board thing in my journey towards self-love, because what God had revealed to me was I didn't fully love myself. So I was like, all right, God, I need you to help me through this thing. And one of the things God had me use was a mirror, where I had to tell myself every day how beautiful I am and all of the things and positive reinforcements. I was not allowed to tell myself anything negative. So during that time, I remember looking in the mirror and I was like, God, although I'm focusing on myself, I remember just putting this in the atmosphere. I said, whoever you send to me, God, he's gonna have to love me for me. Like in natural state, I'm going to ground zero, all of the things. And then I made a choice to start being a loose natural. So I did away with the creamy crack, all of the things. I just started from ground zero. I was like,
do not hate.
This is what it's gonna be. So I mean, this is my journey though, right? So I have a brain tumor, so I have to be very conscious of what I'm doing. So I had to stop that. And then I had to watch my nutrition of what I was putting inside of my body. So I remember on this case, the little jet magazines that would come, it was a PCJ advertisement in there. And in real small writing, it said, well, every little girl needs to feel pretty or be pretty. And that rubbed me so wrong. And I was like, so wait a minute. So if I have a little girl, you mean to tell me if her hair isn't slick to her scalp, she's not considered beautiful? So I was like, that was my journey to coming off of this stuff, right? So I was like, all right, God, help me through this. And I'm doing the mirror, I'm doing all of the other things. And I remember that moment where I truly accepted me for me, and I loved Tiffany for who she was. And that was the most beautifulest thing ever. Like, I remember standing in the mirror, crying, because I was like, oh my God, I love you so much. I love you in your entirety. And, that was just one of my aha, beautiful moments of self-love. And it's to the point where, no, I'm not conceited, but nobody can discredit who I am, because I know who like, God did not make any mistakes with me. So,
and you're his what?
This is what you get. And I'm God's favorite, for real. I promise you, I'm God's favorite.
That's good. But you know what? That there was a lot of value in that, because society makes us feel like all these things is what makes us beautiful, and it's not. It can enhance us, but it could never take away our pure beauty. And one of the things last year I was saying, and I did it myself, I was telling people, when you look in the mirror, like you said, every day, and don't just look in the mirror and say, I love you. Look in the mirror, stay there until you start ministering to yourself. And if you say, I love you long enough, and you stay in that mirror, you will begin to break, because whatever part that's in you that you don't love, you got to come face to face with it. And you got to, and one of the things that we need to do is embrace who we are, you know, with the makeup, without the makeup, with bummed out, whatever. We have to accept who we are. And because we feel like we because we feel like, you know, someone else is better than us, sharper than us. Look, my mother, when my mother was alive, my mother outdressed me. And I had to go through this thing where I had to put and say, that's my mom. We ain't in no competition. I'm glad she's outdressing me, because it was like we go places and I like to dress, but I'm looking like, oh my God, do I really have to go with her? She was into my whole family were they're into beauty. She was a tailor, and she was in fashion. So she was very fashionable. But even if I think about that now, how I had a competition, not competition, but insecurity within myself. And I should have been proud because that was my mother. And no, I didn't dress as good as she was, but I was dressed, and I should have embraced myself for who I am. Why am I telling this story? I don't know. But I just want to say that it's very important that we do begin to just love on ourselves and understand that it is a journey, and that through that journey, it doesn't make you less, it makes you better. You can begin to see things better. You can begin to operate better, because now you made a choice that how you feel and what you think does make a difference, and that you are powerful just the way you are. So I don't know if anybody, I know
I
that.
do
Go
want
ahead.
to add something too. I really believe that was part of my journey as well. Uh, Falling in love with the natural modality of things as well, because um, the brain tumor was able to shrink, and I did get a call from my doctor in 2021, I believe it was, saying that the tumor is officially gone. So,
Mhm.
so I am a true believer that there is healing on the earth. I really do.
And
So,
that's a whole nother subject all by itself. We don't even have time to go in that. That right there is a subject all by itself, because we don't understand that. We don't understand that our healing starts within us. How we think of ourselves, how we feel of ourselves, how we embrace ourselves. All that plays a part of it. So, Alicia, why are you looking like you ain't got nothing to say? You always have something to say.
I'm enjoying the conversation. What you want me to say, Miss Leslie?
Oh gosh, but part of Alicia's sessions, that's what she's teaching us, how to love ourselves, how to embrace ourselves, and understand the difference in us. Doesn't mean that we're less than. It just means that we embrace who we are. So when I think about these different conversations, and you think she has, if it says love thyself, you just think you're gonna go in there. No, by the time she breaks it down, you might be in tears thinking about how you have dishonored yourself by not loving yourself, you know. And you do have a lot of aha moments when you go into her 5 a.m. class, you know. So since
Well,
anybody, go
speaking of, well, see, you don't woke me up now. You done got me going. The coffee just kicked the soul.
ahead.
No, one of the things I do want to say is that this is we're starting the only because this ties in, only because this ties in. So we're starting the next challenge tomorrow, which is the relationship challenge. And this whole conversation, this entire dialogue ties in so beautifully to that, because a lot of times we think about loving ourselves and the relationship that we have with people and things like that is the end all. Like it's that's it. But when you go deeper and you start to extract like everything from every encounter that you have on earth as it is in heaven, for everything in the natural, there's a parallel and corresponding occurrence in the supernatural. So as you are identifying those aha moments, as you are extracting the information that heaven has for you, you have to like dissect everything that you encounter. And what I mean by that is that a lot of times we say, oh, I have a relationship with this person, I have a relationship with that person, I have a relationship, and we think about relationships like that. But the way God broke this thing down for me, honey, I was like, oh my gosh. God was like, you have a relationship with every aspect of that person. And so what it looks like is that my son and I, we had this conversation and it was so powerful. He had been friends with this person for years and they're no longer friends. But the residual of that relationship that he had with that person, he was still doing things that he and that person, conversations, all of those things that they had done. But even though you say you've broken off the relationship, you've only broken it off physically. You got to break that relationship off spiritually. You got to break that relationship off mentally. And this is where you have to be real cognizant of how the world is real tricky. Because the world is very spiritual, but it's perverted. So the world is going to give you enough information to hang yourself, enough information to confuse you. And so what it looks like is the world talks to you about soul ties. And the world talks to you about the shadow work. And the world talks to you about all of the surface aspects of it. But you got to learn to go deeper into it until there ain't no more meat left on that bone. And so as we are talking about those aha moments, and as we are talking about relationships, and as we are talking about self-love, we have to learn to love ourselves enough to strip down, like everything that we say we've let go, everything we say that we have released ourselves from, everything that we say we have turned our backs from. We have to love ourselves enough to strip that thing down to the bone so that when you throw that bone away, it ain't no reason to go back for it. And so for most of us, we're missing aha moments. We're missing the opportunity to truly love ourselves. We're missing the opportunity to truly grow because I'm hungry right now. We're leaving too much meat on the bones. We're leaving too much meat on the bones. And we keep going back and we keep going back. You know how, and I love food analogies because that's just how I work. Now, like when you have a piece of chicken, like you have a chicken wing, and you clean that thing. This is for my non-vegetarian people. You clean that bone and you put your bone pile to the side and you have done a complete job. So it ain't nothing for you to go back to. But then for my non-meat eaters, you know how they clean a little bit and then they put it, you going back through them bones. You trying to find something. So this is how we have to approach our spiritual maturation. We have to approach our relationships. And so that's why I'm so excited, about the relationship challenge. Honey, your relationship we think about, like I said, relationships with people, your relationships with the lies that you tell, your relationships with the truth, your relationships with your bad habits, your relationships with your body, your relationships with your bank account, your relationships with your just everything that touches you in relationship with it. but most people don't want to do the work. So that's what we getting ready to do, honey. We getting ready to dive into His word, and God is giving me revelation after revelation, and it ain't even started yet. So y'all in for a treat. And like y'all said in the beginning, I don't care if it's one person or 100 people. That one person, if it's just one, oh, I feel bad for y'all. So y'all go get it.
Well, we don't have to worry about that because it's never just one in the class, but that is awesome. And see what I'm talking about? She doesn't, it's not just a relationship, it's going deep into yourself to help you be a better. In order for us to have a good relationship, we have to tackle all these areas. We have to be willing to change. We have to be willing to face, you got to face that thing. And that's what we're going to be doing in the relationship class. We're going to be facing some things that we need to change in our lives to make us better. So I don't want to close out without anybody not saying anything. Come on, Katrina. And I know you got something to say.
What I'm saying.
I'm not done with y'all. Okay, we let you think about it.
Okay, let me get Trina going. Okay, honey.
Uh-oh.
Okay. That relationship with your beautiful. Like, how do you help people to get into relationship with their beautiful? That ain't easy to do. That is not easy to do. For you to really tap into your beauty on days that your beauty don't reach worldly standards, on days that you know you not as beautiful as you could be, like, come on now.
It was as each of, like when Tiffany was talking about the Jet magazines and that whole study, I was like, okay, God, that's why I have to do what I do. But as I'm sitting here and I had to mute my mic because I don't know what's going on upstairs. It sounds like World War II is going on upstairs. So I'm like, I don't know what's happening, but I'm going to keep pushing through. But I have discovered that, right, in the beautiful journey, there's many layers, right? Because you've got the beauty of yourself and understanding that. Then there's the beauty of what others have said, right? The limiting beliefs that may have clung to you throughout your journey, and understanding how you talk about getting to the meat of the bones. Like, you have to peel back the layer on everything that you have encountered to be able to see beautiful. Because some of the stuff I think that we carry isn't stuff that we picked up. It's stuff that, somebody's thought of us. And it's kind of like, if I'm going to continue holding on to someone's limiting belief of me, then am I really being authentic? Right? Leslie talked about authenticity. Like, I have to release everything of me. It's kind of like I have to get born again, but like, of understanding who am I at the end of the day. Leslie talked about the mirrors, right? So one of the exercises that I do is looking into the mirror and really seeing who we are and saying, okay, here's a perceived flaw or limiting belief that I've picked up. Now, what does God say about that? Is he worried about, my stomach, right? If is he worried about that? Or is he more concerned about, but you carried and birthed 3 beautiful babies? So it's just changing the perspective on what may be a limiting belief, self-doubt, whatever it is that's keeping us in a place of not complacency, but just stuck, right? Where we can't see the beautiful in things, and just saying, okay, God, what is it that you need me to see in this moment? And that's where the beautiful comes in. It's not easy by any means. Because who wants to admit that they've been hurt? Who wants to admit that they're walking in unforgiveness? Who wants to admit, that today I'm not loving my neighbor? Who wants to do that? But it's necessary in order for us to walk in the authenticity of who we are.
So you also need to throw in there, when I don't love myself.
That part. Yep. Yep.
Never mind my neighbor. How do I feel about myself?
Absolutely.
So this has been good. Wanda, come on. I know you got something to say.
I'm just that part right there. When I'm not loving myself, and then because Alicia left me at everything that touches me, I have a relationship with, right? And so when I'm not loving myself, that affects all of those relationships that are a part of me. Like she said, the relationship with your bank account, the relationship with your job, the relationship that, you know, all these different types of relationships that we have. And whether that relationship is positive, if whether it's a liability or it's a positive thing. And I'm sitting here, she left me back there because I was like, oh my goodness. But as Katrina said, that part about loving yourself, that is so hard for us sometimes. And it's a consistent journey of self-love. And one of my aha moments, because that has always been, I can be very transparent, that has always been a problem for me since I was a little girl, because I didn't like my nose. I felt like Yahweh had given me the wrong nose. Some man was sitting somewhere with my nose and
Wait, wait.
appreciate it.
What? So what? Wait, so
But
what?
this is a nose for a man. This is not for no woman. It's not dainty. It's not small and
Don't
petite.
make me fall out this chair.
With my nose on. Yahweh made a mistake. I promise you, I told him that. This the first mistake you ever made in history, was giving me somebody got my nose. And I've had the hardest time from a child accepting the way he made me. And that's why he's always constantly on me. If you don't love what I've created, then that you're saying that you don't love me. And your outlook on me is warped if you don't love what I've created. I did not make any mistakes when I made you. Everything about you is beautiful. And I promise you that beautiful, I know it's inside, but it from the inside, it flows outside, and it will affect every relationship. Every relationship. If you don't love you, you don't handle your finances right. If you don't love you, you don't deal with your job 100%. You don't give it your all like you're supposed to. If you don't love you, you don't walk in your purpose like you're supposed to. If you don't love you, you can't even really be a good mother, even though you have children. If you don't love you, you can't be a good sister. You can't be a good aunt. You can't be a good friend if you don't love you. If I don't love me, I can't even do ministry right.
Sure can.
You know,
Ooh.
so
Because
Ooh,
you don't even know who you are.
Miss Leslie, look, baby, this your show. You can go as long as you want to, because this is hot. I'm like, she said, we gotta get. I'm just revving up this coffee.
Come on now.
Oh, that's
Johnson don't put some in the coffee, so I'm not kidding. But Wanda, oh my God! Every time, the first time, like I've only met you virtually.
I'm
And
so happy I get to see you today.
I know, but look, this was funny to me because talking about love, honey, you the hair person. I'm trying to embrace my silver highlights and all of that, so I'm learning to love. I'm having a better relationship today.
That's what I'm gonna start calling. I got a whole lot of highlights going on right now.
But getting back, honey, this is why that perceived our perceived limitations, because when life and all of that, and I was going live with Leslie, and then things happened, and then Leslie was like, Wanda can, I said, oh my goodness, I never really met you before, so I watched one of one of the earlier videos. I said, oh my gosh, she is absolutely beautiful. I'm like, I gotta up my game. I said, oh my, I went through my closet. I said, oh, honey, you give regal. I mean, you give your nose, everything fit. That is you. Whose nose do you want, baby? I mean, everything Everything works for you. I'm sitting up there. I was watching, and you're so regal. And you said,
Yeah.
I'm sitting up here. Michael's like, might be looking at me, honey. I'm
Be quiet,
spitting out coffee. I'm spitting all in my chair. I'm falling out on the floor, and you're just so regal, so
Yes.
elegant.
Okay.
I love it. Loving you. I mean, honey, what people see, I don't know what, like I'm sure you've made that adjustment and everything, but honey, when people see you, that's regalness.
Yeah.
That's like
That's amazing.
elegant. You're walking elegance
Yes,
before you
yes.
even say a word. So don't you, God did everything just right for you because it works. It works. Oh my God, that was
Thank you
when you
so
said
much.
that was
Oh,
when you said that was funny to me because I was like, that was not the impression that I had. How
I
do you?
second that.
it's been a constant walk with me all my life. And the self-love is something I have to do daily. One of the hardest moments for me was I had a client that was diagnosed with cancer. And I become real close to all of my clients. We're like family. She was diagnosed with cancer. And so she was getting ready to do the chemo. We were going through the chemo, and she was like, okay, I'm going to eventually have to cut my hair. And all of her friends had long hair. I said, well, she calls me Buttercup because yellow is my favorite color. I call her Sweet Pea because green is her favorite color. So I said, Sweet Pea, don't worry about it. When you get ready to cut your hair, I will cut mine. And so we did that. When she shaved hers, took the clippers, I shaved mine. And that's how I got the short cut, the fade that I wore. And it was one day, so now I have no hair. So I can't hide behind the hair, and I see all of this, right? And one day I was on the floor, I was praying, and there's just, it's all natural, as Tiff said. It's all natural. There are no lashes, there's no earrings, there's no hair. And in that place where he was telling me, I love you, and it's almost like he knew that I didn't really believe it. He said, get up. Now, look in the mirror. Let me tell you how hard it was to get up off that floor and look in the mirror. And I finally pulled myself up off the floor, and he said, now look in the mirror. That's you. That's all of you. Wonderfully and fearfully made. That's who you are. You are beautiful. I love you. You are beautiful. That was my second aha moment, where I began to learn how to love all of me in its natural state, my color. I didn't even realize I was this dark, y'all, because I wouldn't really look at myself. Do you hear what I'm saying? I didn't like looking in the mirror. I didn't like taking pictures. That moment with Yahweh was when I began my self-love journey. And it's not easy, as Katrina said. It's a daily walk with me. And because sometimes it's even hard, like what Alicia just said, sometimes that's even hard for me to take. I don't know what the enemy had in mind when he attacks someone with their self-esteem, but know that whatever he's telling you, it's a lie, and it's the exact opposite, because it's really what's on the inside that shows on the outside. But because I was from rejection and abandonment, and because I didn't feel loved, I couldn't love myself, and I couldn't accept what I saw on the outside because of what life had thrown at me. But it didn't change who he created me to be. And I had to learn to look in that mirror and say, like Tiff, like Katrina, like Miss Leslie tells us, I had to start looking in the mirror and saying, "You're beautiful. You're beautiful."
Whew, my God. Oh, Miss Leslie, y'all done got me started. Now, listen. What they say? Listen, Linda, listen. You tapped into something so powerful when you said that you don't know what the enemy's reason for attacking your self-esteem. That is the reason. Because the enemy knows that if the enemy can get you so focused on the most beautiful part, see, on earth as it is in heaven, for everything in the natural, there's a parallel and corresponding occurrence in the supernatural. When the enemy gets you, the enemy is forcing you to look at things from earth to heaven. It says on earth as it is in heaven. When we start to doubt and we have self-esteem issues and we do all of those things, that is the first indicator that you have reversed the direction. You are taking your earthly perceptions and translating it to heaven. And that is the moment that you have to say, God, what does this look like in heaven? So that I can now replace that with what I see here on earth. It's upside down. So when you are looking at yourself like, ooh, I don't look like the supermodels here. I don't look like this. I don't, you are taking that and you telling heaven what it should be. So when you start to feel that, you go back to hell. God, why did you really give me this nose? Like, why did you really give me this skin color? Why did you really give me this hair texture? Why did you? Glad you asked. Because see, I used to be that person. I used to be, I'm taller than Leslie, but I'm short. And so, that was one of the things.
Well,
Anyway,
you tall and what you teach us. You are tall in what you teach us.
this her platform, so I can't mute her. But I'm tiny, but I'm taller than Leslie. And so
So I pulled the picture up.
And the older that I get, I appreciate my features. I appreciate it. But when I was younger, now this is the one, my little this is all over the social medias, but anyway, people who knew me in the past. So I never forget, there was a situation where there was like a vote for like the school like queen or whatever. And I've shared this story before, but my little boyfriend at the time wanted, I know, here we go, right? Everybody like, yeah, I heard this story, but y'all gonna hear it again. This is what it was too, but I'm over it now. I think I might do some forgiveness work. But this was his question. He said, can we have two categories? One for, because you my little boyfriend, so I got your vote locked down. You better vote for me. I'm gonna beat you up if you don't. This is his question. Can we have two categories? One for pretty and one for cute. I was like, I beg your pardon. Because I was always the cute one. I was never the pretty one. And that really messed with me. Like, oh, she's so pretty. She's pretty. Like, I'll never be that pretty. I'll never be that elegant. I'll never be. So and that was something that really weighed on me. Like, I would never try to dress up. I would never try to be like over the top because I'm just cute. No matter what I do, I'll just be cute. I'll be that little kid sister cute. I'll be that little, I was like, whatever. The more I started to walk in my purpose and the more I started to understand who God had created me to be, God said, and when God told me this, honey, it freed me real good. So every time Alicia Johnson walks into a room, everybody loves Alicia Johnson. Whether you acknowledge it or not ain't my business. I know that when I walk into a room, because that's how confident God has made me. And God was like, the assignment that I have put on your life, you can't have that mouth that you have and the stature to go with it, because you would get beat down all the time. If I was coming in with the mouth that I have, the things that I say, you cannot believe how many times I say stuff and people pull me to the side. Now, if I had said that, everybody in this room would have jumped me. Now, if I had said that, somebody would have just slapped them words out my mouth. But you can say that, and people be like, oh, okay, because of my stature, because of my look, because people don't expect what God has placed in me to come out. And so I had to go to the Father and ask, why did I? Because your calling will not allow you to be as powerful in the physical as you need to be in the spiritual. So this is for everybody. When you have them esteem problems, when you sitting up here wondering, that is an indicator. You looking at earth and you're trying to get heaven to co-sign.
Right.
Turn that around. Go
Wow.
to heaven first and then bring that to earth.
So
So I hope that helps somebody. I don't know, but
a whole lot of
we
people.
just talking, y'all. I'm just
Listen, that's powerful. We don't want to leave Tiffany out, but I don't know if next Sunday, if you ladies could come on again. It's been, I know this is a year celebration, but this is so powerful that we can't leave it here. And this is a conversation we can have all day long, because we as women are emotional, and we as women, and I'm not leaving the men out, because the men, they have their own issues, and they handle their issues different. That's a whole nother conversation too. But what I'm saying is, we live from the place of emotions. We live from a place of insecurity. That's not the word, but the place that we live from is because that's what society has groomed. Society has made us think that we're that way. So because of it, there are struggles. Let me tell you about the first time I met Alicia in person. I think, no, it wasn't the first time, but the time when I came to your house, and Alicia had these shorts on, and I was like, she got the nerve to be cute and have cute legs too. She got the prettiest legs, and I was like, how she got them legs? I was just thinking that, but she is who she says she is. She's cute. She's pretty, you know. She's beautiful. She's a beautiful person inside and out. And I'm so glad that our paths has crossed. Uh, all of you have made my life better. And I thank you for that. So, Tiffany, come on here, sitting over there. I know you got something to add. Don't say no, I don't.
Actually, I don't. But I mean, I always have something to say.
We
But
don't.
I mean,
Look,
this has just
look,
been amazing.
A few minutes.
That's all I had.
Yeah, a few minutes.
Okay. But I want. Okay.
Don't you do her like that.
Because we'll be on here till 11
like
o'clock.
that.
She do have to give me a time frame, you know.
Attorney with her.
When I call
You got
people,
till
I'm
11
like, wait a
o'clock.
minute, how much time I have?
That's right. That's when I say 5 minutes, 10 minutes.
'Cause,
Go
honey,
ahead.
I can talk. You hear me what I say? No, but this is a really great conversation.
Phenomenal.
Definitely needs to be extended. It's just powerful. And you look at why my husband to the side of me, y'all, set the timer. Oh my God.
Because he already know. Ooh. Oh gosh.
This has just been amazing. And you know, it makes me really want to, like, if God says it, then I have to believe that. Like,
Can I add something in there?
mm-mm.
If he created it,
I said,
if he created it,
yes, and God created all of us. Like, why isn't that enough? Why isn't that enough?
we could end with that one right
It's
there.
so
But I
much
saw
that I could say.
Katrina's hand
Katrina
go
want
up.
to say something.
No, I raised my hand because that was the question I was getting ready to ask is what if God's thoughts of us were enough? Like how much beautiful would our life be? Right? How much more confidence we have, how much more strength that we had to know that his thoughts of us were enough and we no longer had to question who he created.
My daughter said, "It's because we're told we're not," and that right there is a whole conversation by itself. You
Yeah.
know, this has been phenomenal, powerful. I didn't know which way it was going to go. Tiffany, you see that? But I'm so glad that we had it. Next week we will continue it. Um, all I can say is be here. If you're not here, you're gonna miss the the vibe. I'm gonna say I can't. I'm gonna say you're gonna miss the vibe that's coming along with it. But there are replays. You can catch the replay and listen. If you have not hit that like sign, you have not subscribed, you have not shared, please take a moment and do that. Next week we will have part two. I didn't know, Trina, you're gonna be able to be on.
Yes, I'll be here.
Okay. Tiff,
I'll be coming out of the
out of
closet.
work.
I'll be coming out of the closet.
What
So
time
I'll
you?
be here.
Oh, okay.
I'll be here.
Okay. Alicia, I think she said she'll be here. Did you say
Yes,
you're gonna be
ma'am.
here?
I'm gonna start early. Let Mr. Johnston know we're gonna be prepared at
And
7 8.
I started to. I should have sent it to him.
Ooh,
You don't have an
y'all.
appointment, Alicia?
Huh?
You don't have an appointment next week?
No, no
Oh,
appointment. I'm
you
all
sure?
clear.
You
I'm
sure?
all clear.
We
Let
know about them secret Sunday appointments.
Gotta get them nails did. I was sitting there trying to listen, but it's like a Russian manicure. That girl be going in. I said, let me stop before I get myself hurt up in here. Fooling around with y'all. I said, let me stop. Yes, ma'am, I'll be here. My calendar is clear. And Mr. Johnson will make sure that I'm set and ready to go. Oh, I got in
I'm a
trouble
tell.
this morning. I
I'm a
got
tell.
in trouble this morning.
You can't be cooking bacon, Alicia. Talk
We ain't gonna
amongst
talk about that.
yourselves.
We ain't gonna
Talk
talk about
amongst yourselves.
that. But good morning, everybody. Good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are listening from. We thank you so much for being here. This was a powerful conversation, I feel. And I've learned so much from you ladies just by listening. I still have work to do, but I'm going to work on me. How about you? Are you willing to be that person that lives long enough that your colors on earth will shine? So until we meet again, I want to say thank you so much for being here. Love you guys and look forward to seeing you again next week. Oh, this week we are also on Thursday carrying a part 2 of the health. I'm almost saying the health renewal, but talking about health and living healthy. So I want you to join us at 3 p.m. Eastern Time on Thursday. Thank you so much. We'll be here again next Sunday, and we look forward to seeing you. Have an amazing week. I love you, but I can never love you the way Yahweh loves you. So please let him love on you. Until we meet again, have a blessed day.